of conscientious citizens has asked Ibok Ita Ibas, the sole administrator of Rivers, to declare his assets. Speaking at a news conference in Abuja, Gabriel Naji, the group's executive director, said failure by the sole administrator to declare his assets could lead to self-enrichment. Naji noted that it was controversial for Ibas to primarily suspend Fubara's political appointees who are supposed to work with him. He said the coalition's demand is in line with Section 185(1) of the Constitution. Naji said Ibas has 7 days to publicly declare his assets, adding that the coalition will take legal action against him if he failed to do so. Let's also tell you that Edison Ehie, the chief of staff to suspended Governor Siminalayi Fubara, has refuted allegations that he was involved in the burning of the Rivers State House of Assembly complex on October 29th of 2023. Ehie said he was instructed he has instructed his lawyers, to initiate a criminal libel suit against Nwaeke for his false claims. Nwaeke claimed that Governor Fubara and Ehie masterminded the fire, but Ehie dismissed the accusation as false. Ehie said the Speaker of the Assembly, Amaewhule, should be questioned about the fire in the State Assembly complex in October of 2023, alleging that the fire started on an evening shortly after security officials allowed the Speaker's convoy into the complex. And now to discuss this, we're joined by President Ijaw Diaspora Council of the USA, Professor Mondy Gold. Professor Gold, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you for doing this well. Let's just get started, shall we? How impactful do you think the state of emergency has been since it's been fully implemented?
Well, first and foremost, I want to thank you for having me today. It is a pleasure to be here to discuss issues concerning the overall stability, not only in Rivers State, but in Nigeria. I want to submit to you that the declaration of the state of emergency is unconstitutional, it is undemocratic, and is unacceptable to the people of Rivers State, to the people of the Ijaw Nation, and to the Federal Republic, all well-meaning people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The idea of declaring the state of emergency is to minimize chaos. And the evidence shows that the chaos in Rivers State, to the extent that a state of declaration should be in place, is unnecessary. It's unnecessary. We have a situation on ground or a conflict that the main culprit, the main instigator, Nwaeke, is known. And so who is an appointee of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria? And it's as simple as that. Call Nwaeke to order. Suspending the governor of Rivers State without commensurate disciplinary actions against Nwaeke is unfair to the governor. Not only that, you have suspended a sitting governor, democratically elected sitting governor, and turn around and suspend the legislature, which apparently I'm not a lawyer, but the lawyers have told us it is totally unconstitutional. Now, not only that, you have brought in a sole administrator whose appointment was not even approved by the parliamentarians. And there is no point jumping the gun. The president did not follow due process. He violated the Constitution, and I support other well-meaning Nigerians in actually calling for his impeachment because it's totally unnecessary. What he has done in Rivers State, as a matter of fact, he has created more conflict in Rivers State. We have more pressing challenges or issues in Nigeria, and it's not necessary to say, by the way, he is the chief security officer in Nigeria. So you cannot have said that an oil pipeline has been blown, and without mandating or directing the security agencies to engage in effective investigation. So the evidence, again, is clear that the president's actions were totally motivated. It is an agenda for his political interest. And so those of us in the diaspora who are projecting the positive image of Nigeria are of the opinion that the president recall the governor of Rivers State without further delay. And not only that, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Authority, Honorable Nwaeke, should be disciplined. He is sending the wrong message, and we have come a long way. So at this point in our democratic dispensation, to have a military style of governance, for me, it is an open invitation to the military to come back, and we don't like it.
What are the long-term consequences do you foresee if the state of emergency is extended beyond its current term?
There will be major crisis in Rivers State. Let us all work together to minimize any form of protracted conflict in Rivers State. We have better things to do. We want to make sure that the Rivers State is developed. And when individuals are preoccupied with personal interest and what they can get from the federation account or from internally generated revenue as portrayed by Nwaeke, it's not fair. So we believe that if as a matter of fact, we are calling on the president to quickly, he's free to call to bring the governor back, because it is a situation where Nwaeke has been seen as somebody being empowered by the president, and it's totally unfair. We need to make sure that Nigeria, the Lion of Africa, the hope of the Black nation, is not subjected to such undemocratic practices.
At this point, I have to ask, do you think that the state of emergency might send a precedent for similar, measures in other troubled states of Nigeria? And I have to put this because there's now this there's now the suspension of the appointees, political appointees, by the suspended governor that was done by the sole administrator. There's also the twists and turns going on the political scene there in Rivers State, following the former head of services comments and the back and forth. What do you think what precedents does this set for Nigeria?
Again, I said earlier on, it's a retrogressive action. The president's decisions are uncalled for, is regrettable, and it is sending us backward to an era that was so problematic as it relates to the overall development of Nigeria. And so for the sole administrator to unilaterally dismantle an existing political structure of the governor, I don't think it was his responsibility to now turn around and the appointees, to terminate the appointments of the appointees of the governor. And that is creating more division in Rivers State. It's creating more confusion in Rivers State. Now, we have situations in Edo State today. We have situations in the Northeast and the Northwest, Bauchi State, and other parts of the Federation. And it is not the duty of the president to continue to be encouraged to declare state of emergency in all these areas. There are better ways to resolve our crisis. There are better ways to make sure that inclusive dialogue is encouraged to ensure sustainable peace in Nigeria. The declaration of age, as I said earlier on, is a military style. We don't declare state of emergency on the basis of personal interest or to project the image or the interest of an individual. In this case, it's Nwaeke. And so the president must do whatever that is necessary to let the Nigerians know that Nwaeke is not above the law. The president must make sure that the rule of law is upheld. We do not want a situation where there is continuous legal uncertainty in Nigeria. We do not want a situation where there is legal inequality in Nigeria. The judiciary's independence must be sustained. And these are things that are fundamental to the overall peace and stability of Nigeria, of which the president has looked the other way.
Professor Gold, I must say thank you so much for taking out the time to join us to give us your insight on this conversation. Once again, thank you, Professor Mondy Gold, joining us live from New York, USA, giving his own piece, his own insight on the state of emergency ruling on Rivers State.